Chapter 2061, Demon Judgment Board. 2061 Demon Judgment Board. Dan Danger. Lady White Rabbit's expression turned pale. Quickly dodge it. Fairy Meow-een screamed. Demon Judgment Board became larger in the three immortals' eyes, quickly filling up their field of vision. The intense winds made Lady White Rabbit's breathing turn difficult. BAMAT the next moment. Earth shook. Rocks were sent flying. Demon Judgment Board slammed into the tough ground with great intensity. Bai Ningbing and the rest split up and moved towards different directions. At the crucial moment, they evaded the attack. Demon Judgment Board rose up. It charged again. This time, it targeted Bai Ningbing. So quick. Bai Ningbing's pupils shrank. She focused herself to deal with the situation. Demon Judgment Board was covered in a light red halo, granting it even more speed. It did not use killer moves. It only charged wildly with rapid attacks. Bai Ningbing had to dodge continuously, spending her effort on evasion and having no chance to retaliate. What do we do? Lady White Rabbit asked anxiously. Fairy Meow-een had an ashen expression. She replied, "Let's go. This is their old grudge. Let the two of them fight it out." Lady White Rabbit was dragged by Fairy Meow-een as they tried to escape the battlefield. "Where are you going?" Guyu Fangzheng suddenly turned around. Even though he hated Bai Ningbing deeply, he did not forget Qin Dingling's instructions. White Rabbit and Meow-een were crucial clues to find Fang Yuan. How could they be allowed to escape? Demon Judgment Board let out a wave of powerful blood-red light. It radiated in the battlefield. Bai Ningbing and the rest were enveloped by this blood-red light. Their expressions changed. Under this blood-red light, they felt the blood in their bodies drawn by a powerful force. It was as if the blood in their bodies was getting sucked into Demon Judgment Board. It was very uncomfortable. If we do not resolve this problem, we might get sucked dry of all our blood. Fairy Meow-een said solemnly. Immortal Killer Move, by Xiang. On the other hand, Bai Ningbing successfully unleashed her killer move. She turned into a white ice giant. The blood-red light instantly became ineffective on her. The killer move by Xiang was the famous trump card of the Southern Border Rank 8 Gu Immortal. It allowed the Gu Immortal to temporarily convert their body into another type of life form. This move was incredibly powerful. It created the white terror that once shook Southern Border, leaving its own mark in history. Once Bai Ningbing used it, she changed her circumstances. The ice giant did not have any blood in its body. Demon Judgment Board's killer move was useless against it. Fairy Miao Yin's heart sank. With Bai Ningbing's current condition, she could easily escape. But Bai Ningbing did not do that. She attacked instead with great excitement and enthusiasm. This lunatic. Fairy Meow-een muttered, experiencing a complicated feeling. However, when Bai Ningbing's killer moves landed on Demon Judgment Board, they was like waves hitting the reef. No matter how Demon Judgment Board was attacked, it did not even move one bit against the currents. Fairy Meow-een frowned deeply as she called out, "White Rabbit, use that move." Lady White Rabbit nodded solemnly. She quickly used the killer move, protecting herself and Fairy Meow-een. Fairy Meow-een took a risk and accepted her protection. Using this chance, she unleashed her killer move, Wondrous Hand, Profound Sound. She grew 5 new arms, causing her to have a total of 7 arms. The 7 hands moved by themselves. The smooth long fingers were moving in a dazzling motion. Ding ding, dang dang, cling cling, clang clang. With the movement of her fingers, sharp sounds could be heard whenever they touched. The sounds even caused sound waves to start appearing in the surrounding air. Sound waves moved like a storm, creating a huge commotion as the attacks landed on Demon Judgment Board. Fairy Meow-een, 37th position on the Demon Judgment Board. She has rank 7 cultivation level and the Profound Sound True Inheritance, among which her Wondrous Hand Profound Sound killer move can be raised alongside the core Immortal Gu until it reaches rank 8. Fangzheng muttered to himself that on top of his head, countless texts in blood gathered to form a scarlet name list. Be they Fairy Meow-een, Lady White Rabbit, or Bai Ningbing. Their names were present. Fairy Meow-een and Bai Ningbing worked together, while Guyu Fangzheng still had a calm expression. After all, he was inside Demon Judgment Board. The rank 8 Immortal Gu House Demon Judgment Board was extremely powerful. Normally speaking, rank 7 Immortal Gu houses could resist rank 8. They were the foundation of super forces.As for top-tier rank 8 immortal goo houses. They could resist pseudo-immortal venerables. During the Fate War, Fang Yuan used myriad-year flying warship and dragon palace to fight against Duke Long. In the earlier battle, he used 3 immortal goo houses against Spectral Soul. They were all rank 8. Demon Judgment Board was also rank 8, but it was specialized in investigation. Against rank 7 goo immortals like by Ning Bing, Demon Judgment Board's battle strength was far superior. It could not be matched. Waves of blood-red light shot out of Demon Judgment Board. These blood-red lights shot down like rain, targeting by Ning Bing with an unceasing quantity. By Ning Bing turned into a white ice giant. Even though it was large and bulky, the giant's movement was actually very agile and flexible. She dodged continuously. None of the blood-red lights managed to hit her once. But as long as I get hit once, I will suffer heavy injuries. Bai Ningbing knew this in her heart. She focused and fought. The dangerous situation was making her more excited and thrilled. Suddenly, Demon Judgment Board shook lightly. Bai Ningbing got immobilized. Bai Ningbing could not move. She was shot by tens of bloodlights. The white ice giant was punctured in many places. It was reduced to ice shards in a few moments. Lady White Rabbit screamed, while Fairy Miao Yin's heart sank. The difference in battle strength was too great. They could not claim victory with just an advantage in numbers. As the ice shards fell to the ground, an intense light burst out. Within the icy light, the white ice giant reappeared. Bai Ningbing recovered fully. This was the strongest aspect of the killer move by Xiang. As long as one shard was left, it could fully recover rapidly. Fang Zheng was not surprised. He knew a lot of information about Bai Ningbing. Long ago, the two were already enemies. Bai Ningbing had fought against them many times. Why would Heavenly Court not collect her information? Furthermore, Demon Judgment Board had investigative abilities. The board list did not only include blood path demonic immortals. It was just that blood relation immortal goo made almost all blood path demonic cultivators unable to hide from it. Bai Ningbing got up and fought against Fang Zheng again. Miao Yin assisted her. Half the blood-red light in the battlefield dissipated as their blood was no longer affected. Fairy Miao Yin and Lady White Rabbit flew out with preparation. They were about to escape. Fang Zheng smiled lightly. Not so fast. The dissipated blood-red light turned into a ball that floated above the battlefield. Instantly, the blood suction force that vanished amplified by several times of before. Bai Ningbing shouted as she took action suddenly. Her ice path killer move hit the blood ball and caused it to scatter slightly. Surrender now. Fang Zheng's lips curled up. He activated Demon Judgment Board. The formless pressure caused Fairy Miao Yin and Lady White Rabbit's expressions to change. The crucial moment. Lady White Rabbit suddenly became ruthless. Black shadows surged around her, enveloping her body. Instantly, Black Tigress appeared on the battlefield. Her eyes were pure black. Her pupils could not be seen. Only a dark and cold light was moving around. The area around her eyes was dyed black. Her entire disposition changed from pure and innocent to vicious and ruthless. Black Tigress took action. Her dark path killer move landed on the blood ball with greater intensity than Bai Ningbing's attack, causing more than half of it to vanish. Black Tigress and Miao Yin were almost killed by Demon Judgment Board. They managed to narrowly escape. Fang Zheng was not flustered. He raised his hand. Demon Judgment Board's aura changed. With a change of method, he moved fluidly. Blood chi surged. Countless sand-like specks moved like stars, enveloping the entire battlefield. This is the killer move, Blood Speck Star Mark. When was it used? I did not sense anything at all. Even if Qin Dingling saw this, she would call out in praise. After Fang Zheng became the Demon Judgment Board Lord, he had improved greatly. He already learned to use the various methods of Demon Judgment Board. He could use the methods while managing to display his own style. This time, even Bai Xiang was not spared. It got hit. The blood sand entered the three immortals' bodies. Red marks started to appear, causing their movements to be restricted. Their thoughts became slower. Their immortal essence could not be instilled smoothly. They felt like they were trapped in quicksand. The difference between the two sides was just too big. Normally speaking, when Gu immortals fought, if one side wanted to escape, it would be hard to stop them unless a battlefield killer move was successfully used to trap the enemy. But Demon Judgment Board was a top-tier rank 8 immortal goo house. It was initially created to hunt demonic path goo immortals. Thus, other than investigative methods, even though Demon Judgment Board could not create a battlefield, it had ways to stop demonic path goo immortals from escaping. Bai Ningbing and the rest were about to be captured by Feng Yuan. But the ground suddenly shook as earth chi spewed up from the lower layer. The currents actually managed to pierce through the tough layer of ground. With a loud sound, the brown earth vein rushed up like a grand river. What is this? Bai Ningbing and the other two did not know what was happening. They were shocked. Even though Feng Yuan knew, at this moment, he felt like he was seeing evil dragon Di Zongsheng's earth chi surged and flooded this battlefield. The earth path Dao marks took over everything here. They corroded the surroundings. From the surging earth vein, Calamity Luck Altar and Demon Immortal Chi Ju suddenly emerged. A Shi land was above Demon Immortal Chi Ju's head. Even though this secluded domain of heaven and earth was extremely damaged now, it was still useful. It was used earlier to draw all of the earth chi upwards earlier. Meanwhile, Calamity Luck Altar was in charge of changing the direction of the earth vein on top of that effect, eventually creating this scene where the earth vein surged upwards. Longevity Heaven actually worked together with Demon Immortal Chi Ju. Feng Yuan was internally shocked. Originally, under Qin Dingling's deployment, Heavenly Court's immortal goo houses encircled Calamity Luck Altar and Demon Immortal Chi Ju. The two sides fought intensely. Heavenly Court was unable to defeat them, while Calamity Luck Altar and Demon Immortal Chi Ju could not escape either. Bing Sai Chuan thus communicated with Demon Immortal Chi Ju. They knew the situation was not looking good. The two were genuine experts with lots of experience. They were suspicious about Qin Dingling's attitude and felt deeply worried. Thus, the two sides cooperated seamlessly. Chapter 2062, Insanity. 2062 Insanity. In order to break Heavenly Court's encirclement, Longevity Heaven and Demon Immortal Chi Ju collaborated. They made use of the earth vein to find a way out of Qin Dingling's arrangement. After Calamity Luck Altar and Demon Immortal Chi Ju left the earth vein, they quickly split up as they ascended to the upper layers. Heavenly Court's immortal goo houses also appeared after them. Qin Dingling transmitted her voice to Feng Yuan. Stop them. Even before her order, Feng Yuan was already prepared to do so. Boom. Demon Judgment Board shook intensely. A huge blood-red beam of light shot towards Demon Immortal Chi Ju and Calamity Luck Altar. The terrifying power of the attack made Miao Yin and Black Tigress shake internally in order to capture the three of them alive. Feng Yuan had been quite restricted. Its current attack displayed the true power of Demon Judgment Board. The intense blood-red light assaulted Calamity Luck Altar and Demon Immortal Chi were obstructed for a moment. They swiftly blocked it. Qin Dingling quickly arrived and tangled with them. Good job, Feng Yuan. After you're done with those three immortals, come here and work together to deal with these people. Qin Dingling ordered again. At this moment, Demon Immortal Chi Ju's battle strength had fallen greatly after the fight against Spectral Soul, but as long as he worked with Calamity Luck Altar, they were evenly matched with Heavenly Court. Where was Qin Dingling getting her confidence from? Yes. Feng Yuan had a serious expression. The moment he received his orders, Bai Ningbing attacked abruptly. In fact, Bai Ningbing's Ice Path killer move had been prepared for some time, but Feng Yuan did not pay any attention to it. He had once controlled Demon Judgment Board to fight against Rank 8 Ice Path Goo Immortal Ice Crystal Immortal Monarch. He was attacked by the Snowman race's Immortal Suppression Coffin killer move. Feng Yuan still had a deep memory of that battle even now. Compared to Ice Crystal Immortal Monarch, Bai Ningbing was just rank 7. She was far inferior to him. However, after Bai Ningbing activated her killer move, Feng Yuan's expression changed. Bai Ningbing did not attack Demon Judgment Board. Instead, she targeted Fairy Miao Yin and Black Tigress. Guyu Feng Yuan could only change his tactic in a fluster. Blood-red fog enveloped Miao Yin and Black Tigress at the crucial moment, blocking Bai Ningbing's attack. Bai Ningbing, are you crazy? You actually attacked us. Fairy Miao Yin broke out in cold sweat as she screamed. No, this might be the best way. Black Tigress' expression was shaken, but she quickly understood it. Fairy Miao Yin was dazed. Soon, she also got it. Fairy Ziwei was once the leader of Heavenly Court. She knew everything about Heavenly Court. She had informed Ying Wuxie and the rest about the details of the immortal Gu houses. Miao Yin, by Ning Bing, and White Rabbit were naturally not kept in the dark, because earlier, even though Spectral Soul led them, Fairy Ziwei and the rest did not have an immortal Gu house. They were weaker compared to Longevity Heaven and Heavenly Court. Thus, Fairy Ziwei used information to make up for this GAP.GUU Fang Zheng understood by Ning Bing and the rest quite well, but similarly, by Ning Bing and the rest also had a good understanding of Fang Zheng and Demon Judgment Board, especially the immortal Gu house. Its methods were difficult to change after creation. The more exceptional the immortal Gu house, the more likely this was the case. Why? Taking Demon Judgment Board for an example, it was a top-tier rank 8 immortal Gu house. Its abilities had reached the limit of a certain aspect. It was extremely hard to modify. Even if there were any good ideas, they might not be experimented on regarding this immortal Gu house. Demon Judgment Board was extremely complex and was made of countless Gu worms. A single modification would change the entire structure. It would mean a complete makeover. That was as good as creating a new immortal Gu house from scratch. Fairy Miao Yin was not stupid. She had just failed to react at the first moment. Now, she started to understand. Southern Borders Tai Clan has Demon Suppression Tower. It most excels at imprisonment, but Heavenly Court's Demon Judgment Board does not use such methods. Heavenly Court must have ordered Fang Zheng to capture us all alive. Thus, when fighting, Fang Zheng is very restricted, only against Demon Immortal Qi Ju and Calamity Luck Altar earlier. He used his full strength. As for why he wanted to capture them, the answer was obvious. To find Fang Yuan. Fairy Ziwei had constructed the Wisdom Path formation in front of all these Heavenly Court Gu immortals, finally managing to deduce Fang Yuan's location. Why would Qin Dingling not know about their value? Using this as the starting point, Fairy Miao Yin soon guessed. It seems that Fang Yuan escaped successfully. Heavenly Court wants to capture us and use us to find Fang Yuan in the future. Even though they lack a Wisdom Path great expert now, Central Continent's 10 great sects did not suffer losses. They have many Wisdom Path candidates. Furthermore, Fairy Ziwei's true inheritance has already been contributed to Heavenly Court. The Wisdom Path formation is likely part of the inheritance. Thinking of this, Fairy Miao Yin thought of Bai Ning Bing and gritted her teeth. Bai Ning Bing, you lunatic. But at the next moment, Fairy Miao Yin stared with her eyes wide open. Bai Ning Bing's insanity was beyond what she had expected. She actually dispelled the killer move by Xiang. She returned to a body of flesh and blood. Come, Fang Zheng, attack me. Bai Ning Bing shouted as she moved like a white light, circling around Demon Judgment Board as she shot out countless icicles. The icicles landed on Demon Judgment Board, but could not penetrate it, only leaving behind some icy marks. Ha! Black Tigress laughed loudly. She did the same thing as Bai Ning Bing, dispelling her defense and joining the battle. She went insane too. Miao Yin sighed. Black Tigress was ruthless and vicious. Her nature was the opposite of White Rabbit. When she resolved herself, she even disregarded her own life. The three immortals attacked Demon Judgment Board, especially Bai Ning Bing and Black Tigress, who gave up on defense. They invested all of their energy into attacking. Fang Zheng was actually feeling quite troubled. He wanted to capture these three female immortals alive. He did not want to kill them. Qin Dingling had already informed him it would be best to get more clues to deduce Fang Yuan's location. If one of them was killed, it could lead to a failure in the deduction next time. Fang Zheng knew the heavy responsibility on him, but the Immortal Gu House Demon Judgment Board's weakest aspect was the lack of methods to capture others. When Demon Judgment Board was created, which person in Heavenly Court would consider this aspect? Demon Judgment Board. Naturally, by looking at its name, it meant killing demonic path Gu cultivators. What was the point of capturing them? In this aspect, Qin Dingling seemed to have made a mistake in asking Demon Judgment Board to capture them, but she had no other choices at the moment. Among Heavenly Court's immortal Gu houses, Demon Judgment Board had the strongest investigative ability. Even though Fang Zheng's cultivation level was low, Demon Judgment Board had an abundance of rank 8 immortal essence and the wills of the past Demon Judgment Board lords. It could display its full battle strength. However, All immortal Gu houses had a fatal weakness. They were not flexible enough in terms of methods. Demon Judgment Board was no exception. It was a final product that could not be altered. After it was created, its methods had always been the same until now. There had been no changes. Fang Yuan fell into an awkward spot. Using Demon Judgment Board, he had the upper hand. Bai Ningbing and the rest were not his match. But just Demon Judgment Board alone could not capture them alive. In terms of flexibility of methods, Gu Immortals far surpassed immortal Gu houses. In the past, when facing this situation, the Demon Judgment Board lords would take action personally. But Fang Yuan only had rank 7 cultivation level. If he left Demon Judgment Board, Bai Ningbing and the rest would be able to turn this around. Right now, if Fang Yuan had a rank 8 Gu Immortal helping him, it would be sufficient. But why would he be given an assistant? In the eyes of Qin Ding Ling and the rest, wasn't Demon Judgment Board enough? He still needed more help. Heavenly Court's manpower was extremely lacking now. They could not deal with the situation easily. No, Lady Qin Ding Ling's arrangement was logical, but I actually encountered 2 lunatics. It made the logical deployment completely illogical. Fang Yuan thought, who would be so crazy as to give up on defense against a strong enemy and only choose to attack? Wasn't that courting death? But Bai Ningbing and Black Tigress did that. And amazingly, the results were quite favorable for them. During the intense battle, Bai Ningbing laughed loudly. Guyu Fang Yuan, don't you want revenge? Kill me, don't you want to kill me? Come take action. Guyu Fang Yuan was silent. Bai Ningbing continued to provoke him. This is why you are just a dog that Heavenly Court adopted. Your enemy is right in front of you, but you do not even have the courage to try killing me. You are far inferior to your brother Fang Yuan. Hearing her provocative speech, not just Fairy Miao Yin, even Black Tigress was stunned. She thought, humph, I thought I was crazy enough to give up my defense. But looking at Bai Ningbing, I pale in comparison. Fairy Miao Yin and Black Tigress were very worried while Guyu Fang Yuan fell into silence. Hearing Guyu Fang Yuan's name again, he could not help but raise his head. Looking at the blood text above his head, the blood text formed into a giant name list. The rankings and names on it changed constantly. Not long ago, Spectral Soul, who stood at the top of the list, vanished. Replacing him was the person at the second position. Guyu Fang Yuan defeated Heavenly Court, destroyed fate, killed Spectral Soul, the number 1 demon of the 5 regions and 2 heavens. Fang Yuan smiled bitterly, regardless of time and place. Even though he was the great Demon Judgment Board Lord, Fang Yuan's name was still hanging above his head. Fang Yuan was still casting a shadow down on his life. Killing everyone on the Demon Judgment Board list is the grand ambition of the past generations of owners. But I know that I am not Fang Yuan's match. For all my life, I could only look at his shadow and hear about his legends. But Bai Ningbing, you are merely ranked 27th on this list. Do you really think I won't dare to kill you? Where does your confidence come from? Fang Yuan shouted loudly as Demon Judgment Board charged ahead as he spoke. In a breath of time, he arrived in front of Bai Ningbing. Intense winds blew towards her. Bai Ningbing had no time to dodge. At the next moment, Demon Judgment Board would crush her entire body to a pulp. She would die undoubtedly. No. Fairy Miao Yin shouted in her head as her 7 hands moved, shooting out profound sounds. The profound sounds were multi-layered and attacked rapidly, but they could not stop Demon Judgment Board. Black Tigress spat out a mouthful of blood. She activated a method to block it, but Demon Judgment Board still rampaged unhindered. The 2 immortals could only watch in despair as Demon Judgment Board crashed into Bai Ningbing and pressed down on her harshly. Chapter 2063, Number 1 Immortal Gu House in the World. 2063 Number 1 Immortal Gu House in the World Earth Abyss Battlefield. Boom! Hit by Heavenly Court's attack, Calamity Luck Altar shook intensely. Bing Sai Chuan had a cold expression inside it. Legendary immemorial beast Mao Li Chiu exploded and shouted, "Let this Grandpa Mao go out and kill them all." 5 Elements Grandmaster shouted, "Grandpa Mao, this place has a huge hole. We need to repair it together." Mao Li Chiu snorted as it helped to repair Calamity Luck Altar. It mumbled, "Taking hits like this feels really terrible." Bing Sai Chuan, Calamity Luck Altar was given to you to control. Don't ruin Master's reputation and prestige. Bing Sai Chuan frowned as he answered, Mao Li Chiu, take a look outside. There is someone who is even worse than us. Demon Immortal Qi Ju was the one that Bing Sai Chuan referred to. He was indeed in a sorry state. Spectral Soul's self-detonation caused his Shi land to suffer huge damage, but it was his greatest reliance since reviving. Even though he had many exceptional true inheritances, he did not have time to modify killer moves. Thus, his Qi path methods were all old-fashioned. Only killer moves that used Shi land as the core were strong enough to be used in the battlefield. But now, Shi land was heavily damaged. Demon Immortal Qi Ju's battle strength fell sharply. This cannot go on. Heavenly Court likely has strong reinforcements. Longevity Heaven, we need to work together again. Demon Immortal Qi Ju transmitted with great difficulty. Right now, Heavenly Court is at its weakest throughout history. Why would they have reinforcements? Mao Li Chiu mumbled. Don't be careless. Nobody can truly assess Heavenly Court's foundation. After replying to Mao Li Chiu, Bing Sai Chuan agreed to Demon Immortal Qi Ju's request for cooperation. He had also sensed something amiss. Thus, Calamity Luck Altar first exploded with a strong attack and shielded Demon Immortal Qi Ju. Next, Demon Immortal Qi Ju gritted his teeth and summoned Shi land. Drawing upon the endless earth Qi, Calamity Luck Altar took over again, pulling upon the gradually declining earth Fang. Humph, trying the same trick again. You all are simply looking down on me. Qin Dingling suddenly left the Immortal Gu house. She came to the outside world and used a luck path killer move. The killer move's golden light shined everywhere. Bing Sai Chuan's expression changed. He quickly withdrew his hand like it was bitten by a snake. So close. This killer move vaguely counters Calamity Luck Altar. If I was slow, Calamity Luck Altar would have to resist the pressure of the earth vein. It would be suppressed and unable to escape, becoming an easy target. Bing Sai Chuan sighed to himself. Qin Dingling's method was out of his expectations. Without Calamity Luck Altar's guidance, the newly rising earth vein started to fall again. But Demon Immortal Qi Ju's and Calamity Luck Altar's efforts were not in vain. Giant pillars of earth vein tributaries spewed out randomly in all directions, towards the sky and ground. An earth vein tributary that was like a yellow-brown river flowed across the battlefield of Demon Judgment Board and by Ningbing's group. The three immortals were sustaining the battle with difficulty, resisting Demon Judgment Board. Bai Ningbing was still alive. Even though she was crushed by Demon Judgment Board earlier, at the crucial moment, she used Bai Xiang once again. Demon Judgment Board dodged, unwilling to fall into the earth vein tributary. Even heaven is helping me. Seeing this scene, Bai Ningbing's eyes shined with bright light. She felt surprised and joyful. Her body suddenly expanded from 15 feet to over 20 feet instantly. The time to escape is now. Bai Ningbing stretched out her hands to Miao Yin and Black Tigress. The two hesitated for a moment before allowing Bai Ningbing to grab onto their hands. Bai Ningbing did not hesitate. She jumped into the earth vein tributary immediately. Don't think of leaving. Fang Yuan gritted his teeth as he drove Demon Judgment Board into the tributary as well. The earth vein was extremely large. Even the tributary was huge. After Demon Judgment Board entered it, it was like a small fish had entered the river. No, we can't escape. Demon Judgment Board is a rank 8 immortal Gu house. Fairy Miao Yin's expression was pale. After a short while, Bai Ningbing was already unable to hold on. A vast amount of earth path down marks corroded her body. Bai Xiang was on the verge of collapsing. Even though Miao Yin and Black Tigress were doing their best in terms of defense, Bai Ningbing smiled coldly. She was not flustered. Of course we cannot match Demon Judgment Board, but now, it will depend on how resolute Guyu Fangzheng is. Hee. At the moment of life and death, Bai Ningbing actually laughed. She turned around and dispelled Bai Xiang, exposing her true body. Fairy Miao Yin and Black Tigress had already resolved themselves. They charged towards Demon Judgment Board alongside Bai Ningbing. You people? Guyu Fangzheng was shocked to see that Bai Ningbing and the rest dispelled their defenses. He had to use a rainbow of blood-red light to envelop the three immortals. After receiving Demon Judgment Board's help, the three immortals were saved from the outcome of getting crushed by the earth vein. That Guyu Fangzheng felt a huge rock weighing on him internally. What was this? He actually became the one who helped Bai Ningbing and the rest. But Gu Yufeng Zheng had to do this. He had to complete the mission given by Qin Ding Ling and capture them alive. Gu Yufeng Zheng, do you have any method to capture us? If Demon Judgment Board had it, you would have used it already. In this situation, you will need to leave the immortal Gu house and use your own methods. Come, let us take a chance. Bai Ningbing could not speak. She could only think internally that if they lost, they would be captured and left helpless. Once their value was extracted, they would be killed, becoming the sacrifices to raise Heavenly Court's reputation. Gu Yufeng Zheng stared with wide eyes, gritting his teeth tightly. Bai Ningbing had won this bet. Feng Zheng did not have any special method to capture them, unless he took a chance and brought all three immortals into the immortal Gu house. But if Feng Zheng did that, he would be too stupid, because that was simply letting the enemies into his territory. Just Feng Zheng alone could not deal with the three immortals. You are very crafty, but so what? Feng Zheng said through the gaps between his teeth. If I capture you, you will still live for some time. But now, you will die? Congratulations, your efforts in battle have reaped you such great rewards. Feng Zheng spoke sarcastically before abandoning Bai Ningbing and the rest, leaving the Earth Vein using Demon Judgment Board. The strong Demon Judgment Board could not stay in the Earth Vein for long. Just this short period destroyed most of Demon Judgment Board's mortal goo. Without Demon Judgment Board's protection, Bai Ningbing felt an immense pressure. Their lives were at stake. They struggled at death's door. Maybe Feng Zheng was right after all. Fairy Miao Yin smiled bitterly. Bai Ningbing snorted. What's that? Black Tigress suddenly shouted. The three immortals were like tiny bugs flowing along the Earth Vein tributary. From the boundless brown color surrounding them, a dark hole suddenly appeared. Go. The three immortals had no choice. At the crucial final moment, they went into the dark hole precariously at almost the same time. In a dense and lush forest on the surface, Fairy Ziwei, Ing Wu Xie, and Old Man Zheng Yuan were traveling. This distance is not safe enough. We will continue moving. Fairy Ziwei saw that Ing Wu Xie was moving slowly. She quickly reminded. Ing Wu Xie gritted his teeth, but his expression was dazed. He said dejectedly, My main body has died. What do we? Fairy Ziwei looked at Ing Wu Xie solemnly. Even if the main body is dead, we still have you. Ing Wu Xie, you are his split soul. From today onwards, you are our master. But Ing Wu Xie was not feeling happy at all. He was in low spirits. Even my main body died in battle. This entire world is no longer in Spectral Soul's era. Fairy Ziwei frowned slightly. She was about to console him when Old Man Zheng Yuan suddenly spoke. Something is up. Don't move. Let me deal with it. At the next moment, he activated his killer move. His body shot out white light that enveloped the three immortals. After a few breaths of time, heaven and earth shook. Birds flew out of the forest. A loud collision could be heard from afar, resounding throughout the place. The three immortals raised their heads. They saw that the sky was dyed green. A grand and majestic immortal Gu house descended from the sky. It shrouded even the sun itself, moving rapidly even though it seemed slow. This immortal Gu house was so big, it was definitely the #1 in the world in terms of size. Its rank 8 aura was vast as the sea, intimidating all living beings. Within the immortal Gu house, clamor could be heard. It was filled with human vitality, seemingly comprising all kinds of people. This is Divine Emperor City? Ing Wu Xie was shocked. Divine Emperor City was created by combining Divine Being Palace and Emperor City. Isn't it stationary at the largest gathering point of Central Continent's human vein? It could actually move. Old Man Zheng Yuan was shocked as well. Fairy Ziwei pondered. This immortal Gu house was made by Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable. There must be a reason for its movement. Strange, why didn't Qin Ding Ling relocate this house into Heavenly Court during the battle earlier? So that's it. Old Man Zheng Yuan used his human path methods to investigate. He found something. Too strong. This immortal Gu house is too strong. Old Man Zheng Yuan's body shook. He was greatly shocked by his discovery. This immortal Gu house contains countless people. It is filled with the profundity of human path. It can actually relocate the human vein gathering point with ease. Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable's method is too amazing. His goals were too far-sighted. He only exposed it now. Divine Emperor City gathers the strength of all the people inside. Be they Gu immortal, Gu master, or mortal, they are gathered together and used in unison. Currently, this is likely the #1 immortal Gu house in the world. Old man Fang Yuan praised. He sighed deeply. So that's it. It was a pity that Genesis Lotus miscalculated. This Divine Emperor City did not make it to the Fate War in time. Ing Wu Xie said. Fairy Ziwei shook her head lightly. How can a venerable fail his schemes so easily? There are extremely deep secrets behind all these. Don't come up with a conclusion so casually. The three immortals stopped in their tracks and hid in the forest, concealing their auras. As Divine Emperor City went past them and entered Earth Abyss, they finally let out sighs of relief. Let's go. Fairy Ziwei was ready to move, but old man Fang Yuan stopped on the spot, smiling bitterly. I cannot follow after the two of you anymore. Ing Wu Xie was surprised. Why? Old man Fang Yuan sighed. That Divine Emperor City has already become the gathering point of human path in the world. Since I cultivate human path, I am restricted by it. Earlier, it probably sensed me, but because there was something more important, it chose to ignore me. To play safe, I should part with Master and Ziwei. Ing Wu Xie's expression was grim. They suffered a setback again. Before this battle, Shadow Sect was full of people and prospered for some time. Now, only him and Fairy Ziwei were left. It was truly pitiful. Maybe trying to kill Fang Yuan was a terrible mistake. Ing Wu Xie gritted his teeth. He felt extremely bitter internally. Chapter 2064, Captured Alive. 2064 Captured Alive. Divine Emperor City was filled with noise and commotion. The hundreds of thousands of people living in the city were looking towards the sky. Profound green light had covered the sky of Divine Emperor City. Not only this, the city gates were also closed and guarded heavily. What in the world is going on? You don't know? There were notices posted at the city gates, announcing the city will be closed for a period of time. During this time period, there will be abnormal phenomena, and there is no need to panic. I also heard of this notice, but I did not expect such a huge and grand phenomenon. The city residents discussed with relative calmness. No large-scale chaos emerged. Northern city area. Where did that fellow Hongyi go? Chao Yu sighed as he walked out of a dark alley. Accompanying him was Xiaolan. The two were Universal Life Academy's disciples, who were ordered to search for Hongyi after he disappeared. Regretfully, they had been at Divine Emperor City for 2 to 3 months now and had yet to make any progress. Xiaolan frowned. We have almost finished combing through Divine Emperor City by now and have contacted a dozen or so information path Gu masters, but have not gotten any news regarding Hongyi. This is probably the worst-case scenario. Chao Yu's eyes opened wide. Are you saying Hongyi entered a painting world? How can that be? Xiaolan looked around in a hurry and lowered his voice. Keep your voice down. Such secret news have been circulating in the city recently. Painting worlds were arranged by Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable. They can take in the city residents and return them safely after a period of time. Especially these days, how many Gu masters have come to Divine Emperor City because they heard this rumor and wanted to find an immortal opportunity. Chao Yu was at a loss. If Hongyi really is inside a painting world, how are we going to find him? Xiaolan was silent for a while before saying with a sigh. If that is the case, then we can only wait. Eastern City area. Master, please take care. A female Gu master sent her master off. Most of the surrounding pedestrians were staring at the phenomenon in the sky. Only a few were astonished at this sight. The female Gu master was a renowned refinement path master who was ranked among the top 100 in the refinement path convention, and she was actually being so courteous to an unknown Gu master. This unknown Gu master was wearing a long robe and a straw hat which hid his appearance under the shadows. The unknown Gu master moved cautiously and maintained his silence as he disappeared into the corner of the street. What exactly is going on? Such a phenomenon is definitely a Gu immortal's doing. The unknown Gu master moved along the empty alley and raised his head slightly to glance at the strange scene in the sky. Sigh. I did not expect to encounter such trouble in this trip to exchange Gu materials in the city. I just hope my identity won't be exposed. Just in case, I will choose a remote tavern to stay in until the city gates open again. The unknown Gu master was worried. This person was Ben Duo E, who was taught the nature Gu refinement technique by Gu immortal Yu Mu Chun. He cultivated day and night, making huge progress. However, the cost of cultivating refinement path was high, and with no one else to depend upon, he had to frequently sell the refined Gu to purchase cultivation resources. He was a hairy man and was hiding his appearance by using Gu worms. He had to move with caution in this gathering area of humans. All kinds of people lived in Divine Emperor City. There were even rank 6 Gu immortals, but no one could imagine that under the cover of the profound green light, Divine Emperor City had not only left its original spot, it even flew towards Ancient Soul Sect and entered Earth Abyss to fight Demon Immortal Chi Ju and Calamity Luck Altar, Immortal Killer Move. Great Chi Cloud Explosion. Demon Immortal Chi Ju's killer move struck Divine Emperor City, but it only raised slight ripples on the surface of the profound green light. This is probably the #1 immortal Gu house in the present age. Even a person like Demon Immortal Chi Ju felt demoralized. His current strength was simply unable to shake Divine Emperor City. So Qin Dingling's trump card was this Divine Emperor City. Inside Calamity Luck Altar, Bing Sichuan looked extremely serious. Calamity Luck Altar was left behind by Giant Sun Immortal Venerable, while Divine Emperor City was created by Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable. In this confrontation between the two, Divine Emperor City firmly won against Calamity Luck Altar, and by a huge margin. Calamity Luck Altar was not huge, and when compared to Divine Emperor City now, it looked even smaller. The #1 large-size immortal Gu house in history, Divine Emperor City, was like a colossal jade cloud that seemed to cover heaven and earth as it obstructed Demon Immortal Chi Ju and Calamity Luck Altar's escape route. And in the rear, Qin Dingling led the heavenly court. Gu Immortals. Among the several immortal Gu houses, Demon Judgment Board was at the front, taking the position of the vanguard as the intense battle started. Divine Emperor City suddenly let out loud human voices, following which, the profound green light bubbled and formed a huge whirlpool. The whirlpool blew out spiraling green wind that covered Demon Immortal Chi Ju. Demon Immortal Chi Ju's expression changed greatly. He could only take out the damaged Shiland. But Shiland was also unable to block this move, and at the next moment, Demon Immortal Chi Ju was absorbed into Divine Emperor City. Divine Emperor City suppressed Demon Immortal Chi Ju. Inside Calamity Luck Altar, Bing Sichuan and the rest were horrified. Even if Demon Immortal Chi Ju only had the damaged Shiland, he had pseudo-venerable battle strength. They did not expect there to be no disturbance in Divine Emperor City after he was absorbed. Divine Emperor Cities might shook the minds of longevity heaven's immortals. It was no wonder Qin Dingling confronted them resolutely and had such a huge ambition as well. This is an emergency. Bing Sichuan exclaimed in fright and activated the strongest method of Calamity Luck Altar without hesitating anymore. Golden lights shot out from Calamity Luck Altar and covered the surroundings. The lights formed a broken path. The path extended far away, passing through the surface layer without damaging a single rock. Longevity Heaven, where are you trying to go? Qin Dingling was aware that it was the crucial moment. She resolutely attacked and disturbed Calamity Luck Altar. She cultivated Luck Path and opposed Giant Sun Immortal Venerable her whole life. And being an immortal concubine of Giant Sun before, she had a deep understanding regarding Calamity Luck Altar. Calamity Luck Altar's method was disturbed by Qin Dingling. The golden path started shaking immediately. Unable to maintain stability at this moment, the profound green light around Divine Emperor City formed another whirlpool. Are we also going to be captured by Heavenly Court? Hei Lulan's heart sank as she sensed the worsening situation at this crucial moment. 5 Elements Grandmaster hesitated for a bit before coming forward. Let me hold them back. You should all leave. No, little fellow. You cultivate formation path which will be very useful in the future. I, Grandpa Mao, am most suitable for this. Mao Liqiu pushed 5 Elements Grandmaster aside. Grandpa Mao, 5 Elements Grandmaster was stunned. Mao Liqiu's status in Longevity Heaven was much higher than his. He had thought that sacrificing himself was the most sensible arrangement in this situation, but did not expect Mao Liqiu to stop him. Under this situation, Heavenly Court would never go easy on them. Mao Li Chiu would probably lose its life if it went. Bing Sai Chuan took a deep look at Mao Li Chiu. Mao Li Chiu, however, said casually, Bing Sai Chuan, I will leave longevity heaven to you. Don't bring shame to Grandpa Mao. You must escape. Don't disappoint Master. Otherwise I will haunt you even if I turned into a ghost. Bing Sai Chuan gritted his teeth. Humph, so much nonsense. Even if you die, make sure you die in the most brilliant way. He had fought alongside Mao Li Chiu many times before and had deep friendship, although they were quite rude towards each other. It was the way of these northern plainsmen. They only knew to express themselves with rough language. Mao Li Chiu laughed heartily. Then you can rest assured, I am most proficient in this. Bing Sai Chuan quickly opened the immortal goo house and closed it immediately. In that single moment, Mao Li Chiu had charged out. Come fight me, little ones of heavenly court. Mao Li Chiu charged forward bravely. In an instant, Demon Judgment Board was sent flying by Mao Li Chiu. Mao Li Chiu fought madly and was soon soaked in blood with many bone fractures. Its laughter, however, became more resonant, and its aura kept on rising. Divine Emperor City activated the spiraling green wind towards Calamity Luck Altar again. Mao Li Chiu clicked its tongue as it flew forward and blocked the spiraling green wind with its body. At the next moment, like Demon Immortal Chi Ju, it was locked onto by the green wind and absorbed into the profound green light. Using this crucial time, Calamity Luck Altar turned into a lump of light that escaped through the golden path. Divine Bean Palace. Painting World. Boom. Boom. Within short intervals of time, two enormous explosions reverberated throughout the whole painting world. What's going on? Fairy Bai Xia and the rest were shocked and bewildered. They were cultivating with all their efforts inside the painting world and were completely unaware of what was going on outside Divine Emperor City. Something big has happened. Fang Dichang. Shen Shang went up to Fang Dichang with an excited expression. Fang Dichang was curled up in the corner of the alley. He was dirty and messy, and his clothes were ragged. There was a bamboo cane beside him and a broken bowl in front of him. He raised his head to look at Shen Shang and begged, Lord, please give me something to eat. I have not eaten for 3 days and 3 nights now. While secretly, he transmitted his voice. Brother Shun, what happened? Shen Shang transmitted his reply. I am not sure about the exact details, but 2 large paintings have been added at the edges of the painting world. Chi currents are gathered in one painting with wind howling all the time. The other painting is mysterious with beastly roars resounding again and again. Fang Dichang's eyes shined with bright light. He felt deep interest. He was schemed against by Genesis Lotus's will, and his will had to escape secretly. With Shen Shang's help, the situation was showing improvement. Fang Dichang did not know what happened outside the painting world. But this situation had appeared for the first time in the painting world. Maybe they could probe the deeper secrets of the painting world through this. Some days later, Ekati, some part of southern border. The fog in the valley dissipated, and 2 people walked out. One had a handsome face with dragon horns on his head and imposing dragon pupils. He was rank 8 enslavement path Gu Immortal Wu Shui. The other was wearing white clothes, had black hair, deep pupils and fair skin. He was Gu Yu Fang Yuan. Over 3,000 heaven path Dao marks have been refined. What should we do next? Wu Shui asked. Should we go meet up with Lu Weiyin first? Fang Yuan, however, was staring at his palm with a complex expression. There was slight loss, some curiously, and some excitement on his face. His lips curled up into a captivating smile as he gave an irrelevant answer. These 3,000 heaven path Dao marks are really amazing. Chapter 2065, Compound Killer Moves. Chapter 2065, Compound Killer Moves. Divine Emperor City. Painting World. 3 yellow leopards charged out of the dense shrubs that resembled a huge forest. There were 2 female leopards and 1 male. They were growling at Yi Fan, while showing their sharp fangs that still had some bloody flesh hanging from them. Yi Fan was surrounded. His heart shook slightly. The concealment ability of these 3 leopards is so strong. I only sensed them when they moved. As for their battle strength, I will know after fighting them. Thinking of this, Yi Fan immediately threw out several goo worms. Boom, boom, boom. White smoke burst and spread. 3 valiant warriors appeared around Yi Fan. Human path goo worm. Vagrant warrior goo. Go. With Yifan's command, the three vagrant warriors immediately split up to deal with one leopard each. Humans and beasts fought. After 10 or so rounds, two of the vagrant warriors won, while one lost. Yifan slightly nodded his head as he appraised inwardly. Vagrant warrior Gu is rank 3 and is specialized in fighting enemies on the move. These three leopards are also very nimble and have around rank 3 battle strength. Ever since the refinement path convention, Yifan had been cultivating inside the painting world. He not only had rank 5 hero Gu and rank 3 vagrant warrior Gu, he also had corresponding killer moves as well as relevant cultivation methods, so his progress was great. Even so, he was frowning slightly at this moment. I have just entered the outside periphery of this growling beast painting world, and there are already rank 3 strength enemies. It seems the level of this painting is rather high. I wonder what progress Hong Yi is making over there. It is time. I should return and join with him. Yifan only came to probe some information. He was in charge of the growling beast painting world while Hong Yi went to inspect the Qi howling painting world. Yifan turned around and met Hong Yi along the way. The two were like heroes who admired each other and had already become sworn brothers. While cultivating in the painting world, the two relied on each other as well as competed. The feeling of brotherhood deepened even more. After learning of the situation on the other side, the two brothers walked while pondering over it. There is more to this than meets the eye. Why would two paintings appear all of a sudden? Could it be the painting world can continue to grow? Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable's methods are indeed unfathomable. We cannot completely explore these two new worlds with just us two. The best thing is to borrow the strength of the residents of the painting world. Yes, that makes sense. Soldiers guarded the city gates. People continued to move out of the city while a small portion entered from outside the city. The two newly added paintings brought a huge impact to the painting world. The painting world had limited space, while these two new paintings had vast space which attracted attention from everyone in the city, thus giving rise to a large wave of crazed exploration. Yifan and Hong Yi blended into the crowd and returned inconspicuously to the city. But the two were unaware that the moment they appeared in the city gate, they were noticed by some people. Xinshang was sitting on the second floor of a tea house near the city gate and was watching Yifan and Hong Yi while talking with Feng Dichang through voice transmission. Look at these two. They have made a lot of progress again. Their bodies are emitting dense human qi. Extraordinary. They will definitely have outstanding achievements in the future. Brother Feng Dichang, if you return to your main body one day, you can inquire about these two. You might be able to make great use of them. Feng Dichang was sitting near the entrance of the street in a beggar's appearance. He replied secretly, "There is not much gap between immortal and mortal in the painting world. They have cultivated for so many days in here and are like fish in water. Their strength can be said to be at the top level in here. Their exploration this time was quite short. If I had to deduce their journey, they probably only explored the periphery of the two paintings. From this, it can be deduced that these two painting worlds are very large. Even Yifan and Hong Yi don't want to enter the inner parts rashly." Xinshang chuckled. As expected of Brother Feng, the former wisdom immortal of Feng clan, you are able to see the overall situation from just a few clues. Yifan and Hong Yi want to borrow external force. We might as well save our energy for now. Look, the 10 children of human path are here. In fact, even without Xinshang's reminder, there was already commotion at the other side of the street. With Xiaoqi Xing at the front, Fairy Bai Xia, Sun Yuan Hua, Sun Yao, Ing Shengji, Qin Dejiang, and the rest appeared together, immediately causing a disturbance. The passers-by glanced at them and praised these 10 people. Feng Dichang's gaze concentrated slightly. Xiaoqi Xing's group was the one that Xinshang called the 10 Children of Human Path. Xinshang had already explained this, saying these 10 had abundant human qi. Although it was inferior to Hong Yi and Yifan, it far exceeded ordinary people, and they would have their own unique splendor in the future. This was only natural. These 10 were selected from Central Continent's 10 great ancient sects. They were Gu immortal seeds Heavenly Court was cultivating. They were the ones who were specially supported to develop human path Gu immortals. Even a pig which obtained the full support of Heavenly Court and Central Continent's 10 great ancient sects would have great accomplishments in the future. The 10 children of human path showed their brilliance during the expedition against Fang Yuan. Their talents were showcased even more over this period of time, and their progress was astonishing. They had become famous people in the painting world and were recognized by the city's higher-ups. Almost all the important tasks were entrusted to them. The painting world was currently in an uproar with the addition of the 2 large paintings. The 10 children of human path received the command to become the main force in exploring them. Besides the main culprit, Genesis Lotus's will, these 10 were the ones who forced me to escape with my will, my soul being destroyed. Don't let me get any opportunity, otherwise I won't mind cutting down your numbers. Fang Yuan snorted coldly. Although only a will remained of him, his strength had recovered by a lot. This was all thanks to the mysterious and mystical human path. When Fang Yuan was cultivating silently, he gained a much deeper understanding of human path. The most striking characteristic of human path was having a goo worm transform into a human. For example, Hong Yi Scholar Goo could transform into a scholar. Yi Fan's Hero Goo could transform into a hero. After transforming into humans, these scholar and hero goo worms would have a common man's wisdom. Their disposition, thoughts, and way of doing things would become different depending on their types as well. The most important thing was, when these goo worms transformed into humans, they could use other goo worms. Moreover, their proficiency in using them originated from the goo cultivator. This was a terrifying thing. Transforming the goo worm into a human and giving them a group of goo worms could instantly produce a goo cultivator. Mortal-level goo worms that transformed into humans and could use other goo worms were essentially regarded as goo masters. Immortal goo transformed into humans were considered goo immortals. Fang Yuan could not help but think of his main body's sovereign immortal fetus goo. Sovereign immortal fetus goo's effect and abilities were naturally not on the same level as these human path goo worms, but they had a lot of similarities. People crowded around the 10 children of human path and moved out of the city gate. This was the largest exploration scale. After quietly looking at this scene, Fang Yuan returned to the deserted alley and silently waved his hand. Men. Immediately, several beggars hurried towards him from their respective corners and greeted him with incomparable respect. Sect leader, what instructions do you have for us? Send some brothers to follow the crowd. They only have to probe for information. Fang Yuan instructed. Although the current him was formed from a beggar goo, he was already a rank 5 bags beggar. 1. This was not all. He borrowed Xinshang's help to purchase large amounts of beggar goo and used a sect token goo to form a killer move, establishing this beggar sect at present. Most of the beggars in the whole city were already under his command. Immortal killer move. Myriad thought, sword waterfall, rumble. With a loud sound, a grand waterfall appeared. The silver waterfall was majestic and vast. It fell from the sky onto a hill. Each drop of water in this waterfall was a thought. It had the appearance of a sword. Within a few breaths of time, the hill was flattened. Fang Yuan stopped the killer move. The hill was completely gone, and a shallow pool appeared in its place. The gurgling water was made of flowing sword thoughts. Indeed, the killer move's power has been increased by several times, and it activates even more smoothly. Fang Yuan meticulously observed the effects of the heaven path Dao marks. After resolving the myriad tribulation, Fang Yuan was not in a hurry to meet Lu Weiyin and instead searched for a place to rest and reorganize. The reason he used myriad thought sword waterfall was because this was not an ordinary killer move. Most killer moves were based on a single path, and goo worms of other paths could only be supplementary even if they were mixed in. For example, Rule Path's 5 restriction Profound Light Chi and Time Path's Time Cutting Edge, and there were some exceptional killer moves. They were compound killer moves which used 2 or more paths primarily. For instance, this myriad thought sword waterfall, which was formed from the combination of wisdom path and sword path. Fang Yuan had a lot of such killer moves. Myriad Dragon, Yama, Great Thief Ghost Hand, Myriad Ghost Sword Dragon, Jade Flow Pearl, and so on. To go into details, Myriad Dragon was a compound killer move formed from Enslavement Path and Transformation Path. Great Thief Ghost Hand was formed from Soul Path and Theft Path. Jade Flow Pearl was formed from Refinement Path and Space Path. Myriad Ghost Sword Dragon was even more complex. It was formed from the merging of Ancient Sword Dragon Transformation, myriad self, Yama child, Emperor Yama, and familiar face. Every usage of myriad ghost sword dragon expended 4,000 soul path down marks from Fang Yuan's body. These compound killer moves were much more powerful than single path-based killer moves. Enemies had to consider 2 or more paths to think of a countermeasure, so they were much more difficult to resist as well. These compound killer moves were normally used by Gu immortals who cultivated multiple paths. For instance, Qin Baisheng cultivated Soul Path and Metal Path. He had a killer move called Burning Soul Supreme Gold, which was a compound killer move formed from Soul Path and Metal Path. Every Gu immortal who cultivated 2 paths had such killer moves. Heavenly Court's Thunder Ghost True Monarch had them because she cultivated Lightning Path and Soul Path. Duke Long naturally had them as well. Because of conflicting Dao marks, Gu immortals who successfully cultivated multiple paths were very rare, so compound killer moves were also very rare in Gu immortal world. Fang Yuan was able to cultivate many paths because of the sovereign immortal body, so he accumulated many compound killer moves. But even so, these compound killer moves could hardly be used at the top level. This was because although Fang Yuan's sovereign immortal body did not have conflicting Dao marks, the compound killer moves themselves would have a large internal friction because of their own conflicting Dao marks, resulting in wastage of power. But Heaven Path Dao marks have greatly improved this situation. Fang Yuan was able to sense this acutely and even verified his guess. Right now, when he used compound killer moves like Myriad Thought Sword Waterfall, because of the reduced internal friction, the power had increased by several times. According to my deduction, if I use Myriad Ghost Sword Dragon now, the previous consumption of 4,000 Soul Path Dao marks would be reduced by a lot. Because of the reduced internal friction, I don't need to expend so many Soul Path Dao marks to balance the strength of various paths. Over 3,000 Heaven Path Dao marks still cannot remove this kind of internal friction completely. But what if the number increased even further? In the future, can I use the help of Heaven Path Dao marks to create a killer move that contains every path? At this point, besides the exception of certain unique methods, Fang Yuan no longer had interest in single-path killer moves. He had discovered a new and vast world ahead of him. 1. The Beggar Sect in Jinyong novels uses the setting where each member carries at least one pouch-like bag, and the number of bags he/she carries indicates his/her rank in the sect.